All right, a really common question that you're going to get in your algebra courses is, can you give me the slope and the y-intercept of this linear function? Now, sometimes you'll be given the slope-intercept form of an equation. In this case, you're given standard form. This video is all about how do we take a standard form equation and find our slope and y-intercept. It's quite simple. All we're going to do is we're going to take this equation, which is written in the form that's not super helpful for this information, and we need to rearrange it into the form we do want to see. Slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept, why we call it that is because m is your slope, and the number by itself, we call that the constant. That is your y-intercept. So the x terms coefficient is the slope. The constant by itself is the y-intercept when you have an equation that's read out like this or written with y isolated on one side. Well, y is not by itself up here. It's got a -2, it's got an 8x on the same side of the equal sign. So we've got to move all the other information to the other side so that y is the only thing left on the left side. Let's do that, and then we'll answer slope and y-intercept. We're going to take away 8x. We're using inverse operations here. That now cancels. I move it over to the other side where I get -8x. I cannot combine the two terms. This is a constant. This is an x term. So they're not like terms. We're just going to keep them as they are, but write them as two separate terms. So now all I have left over here is a -2 and a y. So I bring -2 and y straight down. Equal sign comes down the line. We're going to divide by -2 to cancel off the coefficient. Divide this by -2, divide this by -2. Sometimes kids will be like, why am I allowed to divide by -2 when this has an x? You can multiply and divide whatever you want. You just can't add or subtract non-like terms. Okay, so because we're dividing here, we can do it to the x term as well as to the constant. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 8 divided by 2 gave me the 4. Positive 20 divided by -2 is going to give me a negative result, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. So now what I'm left with is y equals 4x minus 10. Remember, slope is the m, so 4. Y-intercept is the b, so -10 for y-intercept. All right, let's do another one of these problems real quick. Make sure you get the hang of it. Try this one on your own. You can pause the video as I'm working through it to see if you get the exact same results that I do. I'll make another one right now and we'll get started. Let's go with 5x plus 3y equals 18. All right. It's in a form I don't like, standard form. Doesn't help me to find my slope until I do some work. I'm going to rearrange things, put them into the form I like, mx plus b. We call this slope-intercept form. We need to get the x term to the other side. Then I got to get rid of the 3 attached to the y because my goal is to get y isolated. So what's your step 1? Get rid of 5x. How do we do it? What's the opposite of positive 5x? Minus 5x. Cancels. Minus 5x over here. These two terms are not the same. This does not have an x, this does, so we cannot combine them. We're going to write them down as two completely separate terms. 3y is going to come down, and on this problem, we're going to end up getting a slope that's a fraction. I'm going to divide by 3, cancels, divide by 3. Now what I have is y by itself. I got to divide by 3 over here as well, sorry about that. -5 over 3. That's going to come out as a negative. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 5 over 3, I'm just going to keep it as 5 over 3. Put the x off to the side. And then what does 18 divided by 3 make? You know that that is 6. So now we look here and I say, what is my slope? Remember, I took it away from you. You don't have your list. That was your slope. That was your y-intercept. So let's just look up here and say, what's what? -5/3 x. So because -5/3 is attached to the x, -5/3 is my slope. Because b is the constant by itself, I'm looking at 6 as a constant. So my y-intercept in this case is 6. All right, that was 2 problems for you right there. Hopefully that was enough for you to start rearranging standard form equations, putting them into slope-intercept form equations so that you can provide whoever's asking for the slope and the y-intercept. Hopefully this makes sense. Study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.